previous Arduino board. No, Arduino is not connected, but COM11 is there. You can select this one. And board over here you will find Arduino Uno. Let me go down. So you have to select your Arduino Uno board. If this one is Arduino Uno. Okay. So after selecting your board, you have to upload your code. Board and port is selected. Board and port. Now we are going to upload it. So as I'm going to upload my code, so my code will get uploaded, and it's showing some error over there. Let me check that error. Error in some program. So let me verify it first. Okay, in verification is error, so there is some error in code. Let me refresh it, reload it. So after refreshing it, I'm going to upload my code again. You can verify your code first, and after that you can upload your code. Verify success, then uploading code. So my code is uploading now. So after uploading my code, my program will be ready, my board will be ready. Just I have to connect my board with the Wi-Fi by turning on 3 and 4 number pin. Uploading is done. So now I'm going to upload, going to turn on my 3 and 4 number pin in my Wi-Fi device. So we're going to turn on 1 and 2 number pin, and 3 and 4 should be off, and after that I'm going to press reset button. So let me go back to my mobile screen. So I just uploaded my code in my Wi-Fi module. Now I'm going to open my mobile screen over here. So this one is my mobile screen. So I'm going to share my mobile screen over here. So after installing code, uploading code, you have to just come to the mobile phone and you have to connect it. So this one is my mobile screen over here that you can see it. In the mobile screen, we have to open that Remote XY app that we have installed earlier. So I'm going to open that Remote XY app over here. So after installing app, so what we have to do it, very important point. First of all, you have to connect with Wi-Fi module. That Wi-Fi module should be connected with the available Wi-Fi. So you can see in my available Wi-Fi, you can see there is ATL FDP. ATL FDP hotspot got created over there. So with that hotspot, we have to connect it, and after that we have to run it. So that I'm going to connect it over here. So sorry, not this one. I'm going to connect my mobile phone with my ATL hotspot. So let me connect it. So I'm going to select my Wi-Fi, and there is ATL FDP Wi-Fi also available. So I'm going to connect it. So as I'm going to connect, my screen will not get shared because I disabled my Wi-Fi. So I'm going to share with you directly with the camera so that you can visualize it. Yes. So now this one is my mobile screen. So I just connected my Wi-Fi with ATL. Now I'm going to open my that Remote XY app over here. So first of all, we have to click on that plus button over here. So as I'm going to click on that plus button, so after clicking on plus button, okay, my cable is little bit loose. Let me check it properly. Now you can see it. Wait for a second. I'm going to just tighten my cable. Because that is little bit loose. So now it is working fine. So after uploading code, we have to go to this mobile app, and in mobile app we have to click on that plus button. So as we are going to click on plus button, there will be option like this, that Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. So we have to select on Wi-Fi. So I'm going to click on Wi-Fi access point. So there is two Wi-Fi. One is that remote XY, and second one is over here, that is ATL FDP. So I'm going to select ATL FDP and going to connect it with ATL with my hotspot. ATL FDP. So hotspot also we have to connect with the ATL FDP. Now come to over here. You can see it is saying that ATL FDP is connected. Now I'm going to click on that ATL FTP that we did it earlier also. Now you can see your app is coming on your mobile phone. So now you will be able to control your mobile phone, your appliance, whatever appliance you want to control it, that you can control it and that you can connect it. Now I'm going to connect over here that LED. Let me see it if yes. So I'm going to connect LED on my Arduino plus Wi-Fi module on 12 number or 30 number pin. Let me connect it, ground and 12 number pin. So I have connected my LED over here on 12 number pin. So I'm going to control it with my mobile phone. So you can on it, off it. So from my mobile app, I'm going to press this button. As I'm going to press this button, my light is turning on. You can see. So this one I'm doing using Wi-Fi, means that range of that my mobile and this Wi-Fi module is up to 100 meter, and I can control it, any appliance, with the help of my mobile phone without internet. This one I'm doing it in a local network or with my mobile, with my device hotspot, and I'm controlling my appliance using this, that you can see it. Yes. So after that you can control your appliance using a cloud also. So I'm going to share with you cloud using same platform. Then after that we are going in one advanced application of IoT, and over there we are going to set up our hardware. So over here you can go in and let me share screen. Yes. So this one is all the setup over here about that Wi-Fi setup without internet. But if you want to use internet connection and want to control your appliance from any remote area, for that what we have to do it, you have to go to that Wi-Fi, click over here and now select cloud server. So as you are going to select cloud server, you can apply it. Everything is same, just only you have to select cloud server. Everything is same. You can generate source code and you can upload it, and all the functionality you have to perform. But very important point that we have to take care over here, that in which device you are going to connect, mean available Wi-Fi name and password you have to tell over here, that you can see it. Wi-Fi connection, your SSID, mean your mobile hotspot or your available Wi-Fi name you have to tell it. Your password also you have to mention it, and you have to find, you have to create a token also, that is unique token for a cloud. So these connection you have to set up over here, and after that you will able to generate your source code and you can upload it, and you will able to control your appliance from internet now, from any remote area, that you can do it. So I'm skipping over here, but very important part that I'm going to share with you, that one more cloud, that over there we are going to monitor it and we are going to control it also. Both things we are going to do it using IoT. So let's see it how we can use it. So I'm going to use another cloud over here. Yes. So let's see. So this one is cloud that we are going to use it, that is IoT using that same cloud, that we can use it. In this cloud, what you can do, you can connect your mobile or you can connect your devices, you can send data and you can monitor data, and as well as you can control it. You can set up your dashboard and you can generate trigger and alert also. All these functionality you can do it over here. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to use this cloud. So that cloud name is Sane Cloud, that you can see it over here. So we are going to do sign in over here, or you can create sign up over there in a very simple way. So I'm going to do sign up over here. So just do sign up, click on that sign up page, or you will be able to do sign up, and after that you have to log in over here. So I'm going to open that login page, and after doing login you have to select your device, that you can connect with Wi-Fi also, you can connect with Raspberry Pi, you can connect with the Arduino, you can connect with the LoRa. So these things you can use it. Now I'm going to use that Wi-Fi module over here. So step 2, connect, install that library. Now I'm going to use Arduino downloadable version software rather than a cloud version. I'm going to use only a downloadable version of the Arduino. Over there I will let you know that how you can add library over there. So now after that you can use Sane MQTT library to your Arduino IDE. How you can add it, that I will let you know. Then after that you have to select your Wi-Fi module. So we are going to select that last one, that is ESP8266 Wi-Fi module, that we are going to use it. Then after that it will show waiting. Still it will show waiting when we are not going to connect our Wi-Fi module with the available Wi-Fi network, and after uploading code. So let's see it how it will work. So I'm going to set up this cloud. For that we have to go to that remote XY. So I'm going to open it over here, that remote.xy.com. Sorry, I'm going to open that Sane Cloud, Sane login, Sane.mydevice, and over there I'm going to do login over there. So you can log in with your account. So I'm going to log in with a different account. First you can do registration, and after that you can create a login ID over there. So over here what you can do, you can create your dashboard. I mean, you can monitor value of sensor, and you can control your appliance also. Both things you can do it, but this one is now offline. So what we have to do, we have to do all the setup from the beginning. So first of all we have to click on add new. You have to click on device and widget. I'm going to select a device and widget, and after that we have to select that Arduino Uno over here. So if you want to use independent that Wi-Fi module, that also you can use it over here. But I'm going to use Arduino Uno. You can use Raspberry Pi also, but I'm using right now Arduino Uno. So you can select Arduino Uno, and after that it is saying that you have to add that library in the Arduino software, and after that we have to upload it. So I'm going to click on next, and then we have to select over here Arduino Uno. In Arduino Uno, at the bottom, scroll down, you will find Arduino ESP8266 Wi-Fi module. So this Wi-Fi we have to select it. As we are going to select it, again repeating, as we are going to click over here, tick mark over here, your code will generate it automatically. So in this code, that is standard code, but you have to do a lot of modification over there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy this code. So after making copy over here, I'm going to close it, and it is showing waiting now, because I have not uploaded my code yet, and I have not connected my device with my mobile phone internet. So it is showing waiting. So what we have to do now, we have to go to the Arduino software. So I'm going to open Arduino software over here. New window, I'm going to open it. So this one is my Arduino software. So that is installed version, downloadable version. So in this Arduino you will find these are file menus over here. These are icons like verify your code, upload your code, new file, you can create it over here, you can open it, save it, and this one is minimal code. Minimum code is required. So what we are going to do over here, we are going to upload code now. First of all we have to paste our code over here. So I pasted my code, and after that we have to verify it. As I'm going to verify it, it is asking about save it, but I'm not going to save it right now. and I'm going to verify my code. So when we are going to verify our code without adding library, it will show error. So let me see that how many error is coming. So it is saying error 1 over here. So that serial 1 we have to replace it with only serial. So 1 I have removed it over here. That 1 I have removed it. So now if I will compile it, it will get compiled because I have already added library. But when you are going to do it, it will not get compiled. So few modification we have to do it. First of all, we have to add library. So how we can add library over here? How we can remove that library? So for that we have to go to sketch, and over there option is there, that is include library. So you can click on include library. So you can click on manage library. So in a manage library, you will find over there all the features, like you will find your libraries over there, and you can install your library from manage library. That is library manager. So what I'm going to do over here, I'm going to select that name of library, that CAYENNE MQTT. MQTT is a protocol for a IoT and secure protocol that is being used. So over here, this one is library. So you can select this one, and over there is the option of install. You can install it. So my library is already installed. My library is already installed over here, that you can see it, and after that you can close it. So after installing library got added automatically, and this one is SSID. SSID means in which you have to connect your Wi-Fi module, available Wi-Fi network. So I'm going to use my mobile as a hotspot over here to connect this Wi-Fi module. So let me check. So the password of my hotspot is empty. Now after doing this, what we have to do, we have to connect it with a few more modification we have to do it over here. So what more modification you have to do it, that is very much important over here. Let's see it. So now I'm going in a bottom side, and we have to go to void loop. In a loop at the bottom side, you will find sign out default. So that out default you have to change it. Sign out default you have to change it. So what you have to do it over there in sign out default, I'm going to use this sign out one, so that you can use it over here. Sign out default, you can replace it with sign out one. So 1 means channel number. So you can use 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, any number you can use it. That is channel. Means that is virtual channel. Over there you are going to send data to the cloud. So I'm going to use channel number 1. So this one is my function for sending data to the cloud. So I'm acquiring data to microcontroller, and after acquiring data, we have to send that data to the cloud. So this one data I'm going to send on the cloud. So let's see how you can send the data to the cloud over here. I'm going to select, this one is channel number. Channel number should be 1 because 1 we are using it at the top. And this one is function. What value we want to send on the cloud? I want to send the value over there from my analog read on A0. So I'm going to read my sensor value on analog pin, and that value I want to send it on my cloud. So that I did it. Only one value I'm going to send it right now, and after that no need to do anything. So what changes I did it over here, I'm summarizing it. First one, I just renamed my hotspot name, mean my available Wi-Fi network and their password. And after that, I have removed one from the serial one. And then why we have removed one? Because that serial one is being used in a Arduino Mega, but we are using over here that Arduino Uno. So after that, you have to go to bottom. Then over there you will find everything is same, no need to change it. Then at the bottom you have to do sign out. Default was over there, you have just removed it to sign out one, so that you can find it over here in the example also. Then over here channel number 1, because channel number 1 we are using it, and then after that analog read A0. That's all. Then you can verify your code. So I'm going to verify my code, and after that we have to upload that code in Arduino hardware, Arduino plus Wi-Fi module. For that we have to turn on 3 and 4 pin in your Wi-Fi module, and you have to upload your code. So first let me verify it. So after verification we have to upload it. So my code is being compiling. So there is no error. If your code is compiling and verifying, it means there is no error. Now you can upload it. For that you have to select your board. Board is Arduino Uno and port is COM1. So after doing this, you will be able to upload your code in a very simple manner. So now we are going to upload our code. So we are sending data on channel number 1. That data we are sending from analog pin. So over there we can use potentiometer or any kind of LDR sensor, any digital sensor you can use over there. So any analog sensor you can use over there in analog pin. So my code is uploading done, and after uploading done, what you can do, you can turn on 1 and 2 pin for connecting Wi-Fi module with this Arduino Uno. So I just turned 1 and 2 on in my DIP switch. After that, after turning 1 and 2 on, I'm going to share with you my mobile screen, so that you can see that how many devices are connected with my mobile hotspot. This one is my mobile screen. So my mobile is connected with this available Wi-Fi. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start my hotspot. So this one is my mobile hotspot. I'm going to turn it on. So I just turned on my hotspot. Now I'm going to check it out that how many devices connected with my mobile hotspot. So I'm going to do setup, allow device. I just turned it off. And now going back. So there is no device connected right now. So what we have to do, we have to reset our module again. Refresh my module. I just press that reset button in my module. Now I'm going to check it out. How many devices connected? So still it is showing that there is no connected device over here. So what can be the reason over there? Let me check all the name over there. That Wi-Fi name is Innovation Lab. That is okay. Password is none. Everything is okay. Code also we have uploaded, and 1 and 2 pin is on. So everything is fine. Why it is not connected? So let me check it again. My code. So my hotspot name is Innovation, ENOVATION. So your name should be correct. So my name is correct over here. There is no issue with the name. Code is also uploaded, and let me check it again that my device is connected or not. So I'm going to just turn on my hotspot, turn off and turn on again, and going to refresh it. So still it is not connected. For that what we have to do it, we have to upload code again. Somehow sometime code is not uploading properly. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to upload code over here again. So let me see my code. So I'm going to upload code again one more time. So how you can upload your code directly, you can upload it. So after uploading code, you will able to connect it. So my code is uploading, done uploading, and meanwhile you can see on the cloud also still it is showing waiting because it is not connected with my mobile network. That's why it's showing waiting. So I'm going in my mobile screen to check it out that how many devices connected, and I'm going to turn on 1 and 2 pin in my DIP switch and turn off 3 and 4 pin, and after that I'm pressing my reset button. So let's see how many the device is connecting or not. So still it is not connecting. My hotspot, there is no device is connected in my hotspot. Name is same. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to check it out again with the simple name. I think there is some space over there or some mistake is over there in my coding. So let me write it again. So code is okay, password is none, and we are going to upload it. So again we are going to do it uploading. So let me upload it over here. 3.4 is on. So my code is uploading. Uploading is done. Yes, uploading is done. After that, let me on 1 and 2 and off 3 and 4 pin. And check it out. My device is connected or not. So again there is, yes, now this one is connected. So there was one mistake over there that my Wi-Fi was not connected at that time. Reason behind that, there was more space over there in innovation lab with the name of my hotspot. Now it is showing that one device is connected, that is Wi-Fi module ESP. Something name is over there. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to check in my cloud. You can see automatically the dashboard will get open after connecting it with the internet with the mobile hotspot. So you can use any available Wi-Fi network also. You need password for that. So I'm going to click plus button. So after clicking plus button, your channel will get added over here. So after adding your channel, you can see it. That value is coming 345, 222. That is error signals because we have not connected any device over here. So over here now, what we are going to do, there the the error signal is coming over there. So how we can avoid it? For that we have to connect some sensor. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to connect my sensor shield over here. So I'm going to let you know that what is my sensor shield. So you can see over here my sensor shield that I'm going to connect it over here. Yes. So this one is my sensor shield that I'm going to use it. That shield over here that we are using, that is sensor over there are mounted. Just we have to connect it with Wi-Fi module, and after that we will able to mount all the sensor easily. So there is one potentiometer over here that you can see it. This one is potentiometer. 2 LEDs there. Buzzer is there. LDR sensor is there. Then DST11 sensor is there. Push button is there. And RGB LED is there. There are multiple sensors in this shield. So this potentiometer is connected on A0 pin. and similar way LDR and all other are connected, and those LEDs are connected on 12 and 13 pin. So now this shield I'm going to connect with my Wi-Fi module. So this one is my Wi-Fi module. So I'm going to connect this shield with my Wi-Fi module so that I can interface potentiometer on A0 pin. So I have connected it. Now I'm going back to my cloud. As I will rotate my potentiometer, my output will get changed. So let me show you in a cloud how my value is changing. So you can see over here, this one is my cloud. Yes, this one is my cloud, and the value is 423 is coming. Now I'm going to rotate my potentiometer. So I'm going to put my potentiometer at 0 positions. So now my potentiometer is at 0 positions, and over here you can see it will get updated in 1 minute, and you will able to see that that value will be 0 over here. Yes, you can see it. Now I'm going to rotate my potentiometer to maximum positions. A value will be over here, that will be 1023, that we have already discussed, that whenever we are reading in analog, we are reading it in 10-bit format. That is 1023. So whatever value I'm changing from my potentiometer, that real time value is coming on this my cloud, that you can monitor it. So whatever, but it's there is 2-second, 3-second delay, that also depend upon your internet speed also, that how much fast your internet speed is there. So that real time value I'm monitoring it over here, that you can see it. So there are a lot of customization you can do it, like this one is a graphical value that you can see it over here in a very simple way, and all the data you can store it over here, and you can download it also for your R&D applications, that also you can do it. So this one is live data, minute data, that you will able to access it, and you will able to download all the values at particular time. So few modification also you can do it. So if you want to modify over here, how you can modify it, that also you can do it. Let's see it, how you can modify it. So I'm going to modify my dashboard. So over here you can write potentiometer. So I'm going to write only potmeter. Panel 1, choose icon. I can choose anything like gauge. So you can use any gauge or any signal over there, you can save it. These are few icons. So this one is my potentiometer, and I renamed it. I can resize it also. This one is my dashboard. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to do very interesting thing. Just suppose it, this one is your any sensor like alcohol sensor or LPG sensor. This one is the sensor, and you are reading any analog signal. So now what you are going to do over here, you are going to set up some threshold value of that sensor, and you are going to set up trigger and alert. If anyone, if your sensor is going to get cross that threshold limit, you are going to receive SMS on your mobile phone, and as well as you are going to receive mail on your mobile phone, that is trigger and alert. So that mail you can send it to multiple person, and SMS also you can send to multiple persons. So let's see how you can set up the trigger and alert in a very simple way. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a trigger and alert on your threshold limit of particular sensor. So I'm going to in user trigger and alert. So in trigger and alert, over there you will find these functionalities like set up your trigger. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to set up new trigger. So this one is already running trigger, I'm going to off it. So you can create a new trigger. So over here what you can do, you have to drag your device over here. So I'm going to drag my Arduino, and I'm going to drop it over here like this. So after doing this, you have to select your device. In Arduino, you know which device is connected. So I'm going to select it, that is port meter. So this one is the device. Now you can set up your limit, so minimum value, maximum value. So I'm going to set minimum value 0, and after that this one is maximum value 1023, and this one is set value, that where you want to set it. So I want to set up it at any value you can set it. So any value you can take it, so that I will take it. So I'm going to take it approximate 540, or you can make fixed value also. Let's take 500. So any value you can take it. So I'm going to take 500 as a threshold limit. If my sensor is going above 500, so my output will get changed. I will receive notification. I can set up it below also. If my sensor is going below 500, I will receive notification. Right now I'm doing it for a above. If at 500 value, the value will be more than 500 in my potentiometer, in my Arduino, that it will send a notifications. So what notification you are going to receive it? Let's see. So very important point, you can set up your notifications. This one is the notification tab. So over here you can select SMS and email. So if any participant is willing to receive notification on their mobile or their mail ID, if they want to verify it, want to check it out, that how it is working, they can save their mobile number in the chat box, or their mail ID in the chat box. I will add it over here so that you will be able to receive notifications. So I'm going to add my number first. So you can share your number if you want to check it out, that how notification is working. So you can share your mobile number. It's very interesting. You will receive notification on your mobile phone. So I'm going to add over here my mail ID. So you can also share your mail ID in the chat box, or your mobile number. I will add it over here. I edit it over here. One more participant, multiple participant you can edit. Yes, if you have shared any number, let me check it out. You can share your mail ID also. If you are going to share your mail ID, I will add it over there, and you will receive notification on your mail ID. Yes, if you are willing to receive it. So I'm waiting for it. If you are going to share it, I will add it. Otherwise, I'm going to show this one only. Yes. So I have not received any. Yes, one mobile number is received. Okay. So I'm going to add it over here. So what you can do, you can go to over there. Again, I'm going to edit. So +91 is important. +91, you have to mention it. Then you can mention number. Then after that, one more I'm going to add. One more mail ID, I have received it. So I'm going to add it. Yes, two number and one number and one mail ID, I have received it. Yes, if you want to add multiple, you can add it. So I have not received any further. Okay. Now I'm going to share it. I'm going to save it. So you can save your notification with the name. You can IoT ATL FDP. I'm going to type it. And I'm going to save it. So I have set up over here that threshold limit is 500, and I have saved my trigger and alert. So at the bottom you will find your trigger. This one is trigger ATL FTP. So in this trigger you can see it that this one trigger runs 0 times. So now what we are going to do, we are going to in Arduino, because this one is a live device. So I'm going to increase my potentiometer value in my hardware. So let me increase it. So I just increase it very slightly, and let's see what changes is over there. So it will get updated in 2 seconds, 2 to 3 seconds maximum. So you can see over here the values 381. but still I think you have not received any SMS. I will share my screen also over here so that you can check it out that notifications is coming or not. Yes, this one is my screen over here. So now I'm going to increase that value again slightly more. Okay, this one got disconnected somehow. Hotspot, no connected device. I think my wire got disconnected somehow. Let me connect it. Yes, this one got connected again. So this one is my okay, disconnected, and after that it will get connected automatically. No need to worry. So the value is 381. It will get updated. So you can refresh it over here also. Now value is 522. Now my value is 522, and I have received SMS also. So you can see it over here. That SMS came over there at the top. I will show you again. One more SMS will come after 1 minute. Yes. Let it come. Yes, this one is my SMS. Channel 1 has reached that threshold limit. Channel 1 has reached the threshold value of 500. This one is connected to the Arduino. Yes, I think other participant also received that SMS. Those shared their mobile number and mail ID also. You can check it on your mail also. That definitely there will be one notification about your channel value, and after every half minute or 1 minute, you are going to receive SMS that you can see it. So you will able to see it, that value is continuously coming. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to reduce that value over here less than 500. So my after, if value will not cross that threshold limit, you will not receive SMS again. So now my value is 194. You are not going to receive that value. So have you received that SMS or not? Those shared with me your number and mail ID, have you received that SMS or not? Respond in the chat box. Have you received that SMS or not? Okay, message received. That's great. So Lachit Datta has received that SMS. You can check on the mail ID also, those shared mail ID. So definitely mail will also post over there. The mail ID is correct. Yes, that's great. Mail also received. So that notification will come over there as we are going to cross that threshold limit. What are the advantage of this? Like if you are going to running any boiler, and over there you are going to control it. I mean, worker is controlling over there, and that boiler pressure is going to cross that threshold limit. So after that, your boiler will get bursted. So you will receive SMS before going to burst your boiler or going to had any kind of tragedy over there. So that you can. So that can be avoided in a very simple way. So after that, you can set up all the notification over here in a very simple way. That notification and alert you can generate it, and when we are sharing your notification, so you can share that notification to higher authority also, so that they will take some preventive measure over there to avoid any kind of accident over there that can be done. So that is being used in a condition monitoring of a machine. Like if your machine is going to get faulty after some time, you are going to get alert before going to get faulty. So you can stop your motor and you can perform many operation over there, many application you can perform over there. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to add actuator over here also. So if you, this one is a monitoring. If you want to control your appliance from this cloud, that also you can do it. So how you can control it? that I'm going to do it. For that you have to add device and widget. So in device and widget you have to click on what you are going to add over here. You are going to add actuator. So how you can add actuator over here? So I'm going to select that actuator. Actuator, you can select light, and you can select light over here, and after that you can select light switch, select device. So which device you are going to use it over here, that is Arduino Uno. So you can take Arduino 9 there. After that there is 2 Uno. This one is my Arduino Uno, and after that you can select virtual channel number. So one number channel you are already using, you can use channel number 2. Now choose widget button. So any type of light button or any kind of other button, you can find it over here. This button I have taken it for bed or something like that. So then you can create a sketch. So this one is your code for button, but you cannot use directly complete code, because this one is code for Ethernet shield, but we are using Wi-Fi module. So I'm just going to copy only this saying in part, this one function only. So this one I'm going to copy it. Now after making copy of this function, I'm going to edit my previous code. So you can make it okay, done, and you can add actuator. So I have added my actuator over here, and but I will not able to control my appliance right now with the help of this, because I have not updated that code in my hardware. For that I'm going in my code. This one is my code over here. In this code I have to do few modification in my code. So what we have to do it, I have to go to that saying out, saying in this one. So this one function we have to remove it, we have to delete it, or we have to replace this functionality over here with our customization. That also we can do it. So what I'm going to do it over here, you can replace it also. I'm just going to replace it first. I'm pasting my code and I'm going to replace in this code. So you can do over here saying in, and over here you are going to use channel number 2, that is channel number. So now after that you have to take one integer over here, one integer, and integer is value. Any integer you can take it, value or light. That integer I'm going to take it value. Value. Over there what I'm going to do, I'm going to store some values. When some value is coming from the cloud now, that I'm going to store over here. So what value we are getting from the cloud, this one is a cloud function, that library function of this cloud. I will receive my value in this function. So that value I'm going to store in this my variable, and now we have to use this function over here. In log %u request channel. So this one is my channel number. So over here you can use it. Request channel is 2. So after that actuator pin and value. Then we have to use get value as a string. This one we have to remove it, and over there we have to use our actuator pin. Actuator pin, which pin you want to control it? I want to control 12 number pin, comma, and after that value. So value you can directly write it, that is your variable. This one. So after doing this, you have to send output also. So for that digital write, you can do digital write, and then you have to use 12 number pin as a output. You can directly copy and paste also. I'm just showing that how you can update it with your own also. That also you can do it. So that I'm going to do it. So the lower part you can remove now. That is not required. So we have uploaded our code. We have added all the functionality. So 12 number pin is out, sorry, not output, that we have to write over here value. This one, whatever value we are receiving it, that will be written over here, that will be high or low. So the 12 number pin we are using as an output. So in a setup also we have to define it. 12 number pin is output pin mode. 12 number pin is output that you can see it. So now after that, after doing this, you have to upload your code. So how you can upload your code? Same functionality you have to do it, 3 and 4 on, and all other pins should be off. So same functionality I'm going to do it over here. 3 and 4 pin I'm going to make it on, and 1 and 2 off, and after that I'm going to upload code. So my code is uploading now. So after uploading code, you can do all the steps same, that 1 and 2 pin on and 3 and 4 pin off. So my code is uploading. After uploading done, you will able to change the 3 and 4 pin and 1 and 2 pin. So uploading is done. And now I just connected it. Now I'm going to connect my sensor shield over here. And I'm going in a cloud. So go back to cloud after uploading code. It is connected. So now what we can do, it is disconnected. After that it will connect it again, because we have uploaded new code now. So wait for some time. Yes, now it is connected. And now what you can do, you will able to control your appliance using this button. So as you are going to turn it on, your appliance will get on and your appliance will get off again using this. So that I'm going to control it. As I'm going to on it, my light will get on, and as I'm going to off it, light will get off. So now my light is on. Let me show you that light. So let me stop sharing over here. So you can see in my camera that my light is on right now. That light is connected on that 12 number pin, that is red light. So as I'm going to turn it off, so I'm going to turn it off. So then also you will able to see light is turning off. Again turning on from that cloud, and light turning on again. So you will able to control your appliance over here, and you will able to monitor also. Both functionality you can do it in this cloud. And what are more application over there, you will able to monitor it, you will able to control it. Now you can schedule it also, like if you are going to connect the output with the actuator, as you are going to connect some sleeping or some night light, you are going to turn it on. So for that, what you can do scheduling also. So scheduling, you can do it over here, that at which time you want to turn on this pin. So you can LED turn on at what time, or you want to repeat it. So that also you can do all the setup over there. That also can be done. So now I'm coming back to that cloud, and I'm going to share with you a few more case studies, that what more you can make it over here using this cloud. So I'm going to sign in with another account. So over there is many projects, so that you can find many case studies over there. So now over here I'm going to show a few case studies. First one is smart energy meter. That you can see it, that smart energy meter. Over here you will able to monitor power, and you will able to monitor the daily billing amount also over here, and you will able to monitor temperature, and as well as location also, that where is energy meter located, that also you can see it easily. And that signal strength also, that this project is based on LoRaWAN, without connecting any internet or mobile network. So we are acquiring energy meter data, and after that we are sending that data to the cloud. So with the help of that LoRaWAN, we can monitor and we can receive and send data using up to 10 kilometers without mobile network, without internet, using radio frequency, that we can use it. So that wireless communication we can use it, and that LoRaWAN is being deployed with the Arduino Uno. So you can use that LoRaWAN shield and you can connect with the Arduino and you will able to connect it. And after that you need a one gateway that you can create it using Raspberry Pi, so that you can see it. So all the data you can monitor it, and you can store all the data. With the help of that you can generate your analytics also. That also you can do it. Some algo also you can perform over there. If there is any kind of electricity theft over there, that can also be detected using AI. So that is one project, and one more case studies is over here. That is that you can see it. That is weather monitoring station over here. That is drone based weather monitoring stations that we have deployed at NATRA Chandigarh campus. So over there you can see it, that drone will move from near about area, and from there we are going to receive that air qualities and weathers over there in a very simple way, without any kind of mobile network, or without any kind of internet connectivity in between that device and gateway. So gateway we have deployed at NITR, and our drone is moving up near about in 10-kilometer radius, and we will able to access all the weather data, and also their drone location also we can identify. So then after that, this one is one more project over here. So this one is a lift rescue system that you can see it. If any one person is stuck in a lift due to that electricity failure, so over there that person can be get rescued using this platform. And as the person is going to press button over there in a lift, so that alert will get on, and SMS will goes to that manager or that security in charge, and as well as they can see that location also in their screen, that which one lift is get person got stuck in that particular lift, and name of the lift, so that they can rescue that person. So that can be used. So this one is also same, and you can perform many more also here. Like this one is a condition monitoring of a machine. Like if you are going to monitor of a condition of a machine, like voltage or health monitoring we can call it, like voltage, temperature, current, that you can monitor it over there in a cloud. And after that you can control their motor speed also from the remote area from IoT, and you will able to switch off your motor also. Sometime worker running your machine overloaded, so you can turn it off from the remote area. That also you can do it in easily using IoT. So these are few IoT more case studies over here. You can schedule it, you can trigger it. So whatever you want to do it, that you can do it over here. You can track it, you can store your data, and you can share your credential also over here. Like if you want to share only that voltage and current and temperature part, that monitoring part, that only also you can share it. Or if you want to share that control part, that also you can share it, so that you can do it. So if you want to interface Raspberry Pi also over there, that also you can interface Raspberry Pi over here. So how you can interface Raspberry Pi, that you can do it in a very simple way over here. So now I'm just giving you a quick overview about that Raspberry Pi, that how you can use Raspberry Pi and how you can interface it. So now I'm coming directly to that Raspberry Pi. Yes. So this one is Raspberry Pi, that we can use it for different applications. So how to decide which board we have to use it? You can select it over here, like Arduino Uno or Raspberry Pi. So I'm going to talk about Raspberry Pi now. So in Raspberry Pi you can see it. This one is a Raspberry Pi board, and you can see these are parameters of Raspberry Pi. Raspberry Pi is working as a small credit card size computer. So these are pin configuration in a Raspberry Pi, that you can see it, like HDMI cable, USB cable you can connect over here, that Ethernet cable you can connect over here, LAN cable you can connect, camera also you can connect, memory card you can connect. These are GPIO pins. GPIO stand for general purpose input output pin. So there is 40 GPIO pins. Out of that, 26 being used for input and output. All other are 5 volt and ground and VCCs are there. So you can make many applications using Raspberry Pi. So there are few applications over here that you can see it. So there are few more biomedical applications over here that you can see it. So few more application you can see over here in the Raspberry Pi. So solar based Raspberry Pi. So these are pin diagram. These are detailed GPIO pins over here that you can see it. So these are setup. So when we are going to set up Raspberry Pi, you need these things like your that keyboard, mouse, power supply, memory card, and one monitor screen. So all these things you can set up it over here, and after that you will able to run it. For memory card, you have to make it bootable with Raspbian image, and after that you will able to insert it, and you will able to provide power, and you will able to run it. So these are operating system we can use in Raspberry Pi, that is Fedora, Raspbian, Debian. These you can insert over there. So now I'm going to share with you that how you can use Raspberry Pi in a very simple way, and how you can monitor your screen, and how you can interface that Raspberry Pi with the cloud. That I'm going to use it over here right now. So let's see it how you can use it. So after that we are going to talk about Node-RED also, and how you can interface Node-RED. So let me come to that screen. Yes. So first of all, I'm going to share with you that Raspberry Pi screen, that how it is looking like. So this one is Raspberry Pi in my hand, that is with the case, and there is memory card at the bottom that we have connected it with the bootable image. Now I have not connected any screen, any mouse or any keyboard or any HDMI cable. Directly I'm going to connect that power adapter. That is power adapter or USB cable, micro USB cable that I told you, that I'm going to connect it over here. And without any mouse keyboard, I'm going to run it. So I'm going to connect this device with the power. So I have given power to this Raspberry Pi. Power is on now. Now my Raspberry Pi get turned on. Now I want to control my Raspberry Pi. For that, what we have to do it. So I'm going to control my Raspberry Pi over here. For that, what we have to do it, we have to go to few software we have to use it, that I'm going to share with you over here. Let's see it. So now I'm going to share with you the software that you can use it. So first one is VNC Viewer. VNC Viewer, you can use it. So in VNC Viewer, what you have to do it, you have to enter your IP address of Raspberry Pi. So how you will identify your IP address of Raspberry Pi, that is very important part over here. So for that, what we have to do it, I'm going to going to check it out that how many devices connected with my Raspberry with my mobile phone. So you can see over here how many devices connected with this. So there is Raspberry Pi is connected. So you can click over here. That is my mobile hotspot. It is connected with my mobile hotspot. The IP address is this. This IP address we have to type over here, and after that you will able to access your Raspberry Pi screen in a very simple way. Let me show you how you can do it. So I'm going to type. But before that, let me connect. Okay, let me check it out if it is working. So 192.168.43.212. So it will show error right now because I have not connected with the same network. So let me stop it and let me connect with my same network. Yes, now I think it is working. There was some disconnectivity due to network shifting. So I'm going to share it again. So this one is my screen. So now over here I'm going to open that VNC viewer. In this VNC viewer we have to type IP address and then we have to click enter. So as we are going to click enter, you will able to access the Raspberry Pi. This one is my Raspberry Pi screen. This one is my Raspberry Pi screen over here that you can see. So in this screen, you will able to access your Raspberry Pi and you will able to control it. Now I'm controlling my Raspberry Pi from my computer, and over there you will find Raspberry Pi features, programming language over there, everything you will able to control it. So in a Raspberry Pi you can run that Node-RED also, and that Node-RED you can run in your PCs also, and you can run that Node-RED in your mobile phone also. There is one app for Node-RED, and that also you can use it in your mobile phone. So I'm going to talk about that Node-RED graphical programming. So over here I'm going to run Node-RED. So Node-RED, I'm going to start my server of Node-RED in my Raspberry Pi. So that will get started over here. That will get started, and it is saying over here that you can see it. So that Node-RED server is working over here. Yes. So my Node-RED server gets started over here. So let me check that IP address in which it is connected. Yes, this one is the IP address. We have to use it to run that Node-RED. So this one is server started on my Raspberry Pi. So what I'm going to do now, let me start again Node-RED. Node-RED. It is working now. So what we have to do it, we have to open that Node-RED, this IP address, we have to open it. As we are going to open it, that Node-RED will get open. So you can open in your dashboard also, and as well as you can open it on your computer also, because your computer is connected with the same network. So now I'm going in my computer, and over there I'm going to enter that IP address 192.43.18, this one. So I'm going to enter it. So my Node-RED will get open over here, and I will able to access my Node-RED, and I will able to program it. So that is Node-RED. In Node-RED, what you can do graphical coding over there in a very simple way, like drag and drop. You can make these blocks, and you will able to run. There is an example like this one is simple hello world. If you want to print output with the hello world, what you can do, you can inject this node, you can deploy this code, and after that you will open the debug, and as you are going to inject it, you will be able to see hello world at the output. This one is simple injection. So over here you can create a virtual setup also, like I'm going to use that Raspberry Pi output over here. I want to control my Raspberry Pi with these 0 and 1. So that also you can control it in a very simple way. You can just press this one. So you are going to send a command 1 at pin 11, and this one for sending command 0 at pin 1, mean turning it off and on. Manually also you can do it. And similar way you can make your algorithm over here. Over there you can set up your virtual data, and you can send directly from over here to the cloud also. So there are a few palettes over here like network. These are MQTT palettes. With the help of that, you can send data to the cloud, and you can receive data from the cloud also. That also you can do it. For that you have to configure it, and you will be able to use it. So you will be able to send your data to the IBM Watson also, that cloud. And there are many functionality over here. You can create your dashboard also, and you will be able to send data to the Twitter also. You will be able to access the trending on the Twitter, and you will be able to post temperature or something like that on the Twitter. That also you can do it. These are Raspberry Pi pin. If you want to control Raspberry Pi, that you can control it over here like this. We are doing it. Which pin you want to control it, that you can select it. So any device you want to edit, that also you can edit. So there is many functionality over there. You can use Raspberry Pi camera also. All the functionality you can use it, and all the graphical programming you can do it, and all the things you can simulate it over here in a very simple way. So there are many more projects over here. So that you can make it in a very simple way. So now this one I'm running on my Raspberry Pi, that Node-RED I'm running, and you can deploy your code and it will work whatever code you want to run it, and you will make it easily like this. You can connect it multiple nodes, you can take it and you can connect with them together with a simple wiring, very easy wiring, so that you can do it over here like this. And you can delete your node, which one you want to delete it, via simple pressing delete button. That is very easy to use. So now if you want to run that Node-RED in your computer, how you can run it, that also you can run it without Raspberry Pi also. So that all the setup you can run it without hardware also in your computer. So I'm going to run that Node-RED in my computer also. First of all, you have to install that Node-RED. Then you have to open command window, and over there you have to run node underscore node run Node-RED. So it's saying some error, so you can open node underscore red Node-RED. Should be work. So there is some error over there. Internal modules. Okay, let me run it. Command window. So over there you can run Node-RED. So there is some error is coming. You can call it because I think I have uninstalled that Node-RED, or there is some mistake in there. Node. Okay, yes, Node. This one and red. Yes, now it will work. So Node-RED, you have to start it Node-RED in your computer. Without Raspberry Pi also you can run Node-RED. So now we are running all the loading palettes, and you will able to run that Node-RED. So Node-RED gets started over here. This one is my IP address. This IP address I have to use it for running my Node-RED over here in my computer. So my server will get started. So I'm going to use that IP address, and I'm going to open Node-RED that is installed in my computer. So this one I'm running in my computer. Yes, this Node-RED is in my computer. So these are projects over there. Big projects also you can make it like this. And this one is for automatic car garage parking, that you can make it over here in a very simple way using Raspberry Pi, and their camera and capturing image processing also we did it over here, and this for detecting of car number plate, and that you can make it. So many things you can do it over here in a very simple way over here. So now we are going to talk about that Raspberry Pi, that how you can interface that Raspberry Pi in a cloud. So over here I'm going to use that same cloud. So in this cloud, if you want to interface that Raspberry Pi, what we have to do in a same cloud? So in a same cloud, you can interface that Raspberry Pi in a very simple way, and you will able to control that GPIO pin also in a Raspberry Pi in a manual way also. So I'm going to talk about that Raspberry Pi connection with cloud. So you can click on add new Raspberry Pi, and you have to run these two commands. So these two commands you have to run in a Raspberry Pi. So I'm going to open my Raspberry Pi, that command window. Over there I'm going to run that command. This one you can enter it. This one is connected. Now after that we have to open that second command. This second one we have to run it sudo and base, and we have to run it. I'm going again in a Raspberry Pi. That second command also I'm going to run it. So after running that two command, that Raspberry Pi will start installing library, and all the setup will get done. And you can see on the cloud also over here it will get updated. Yes, you can see it. The terminal mode is coming over here. That Raspberry Pi terminal same is working in the Raspberry Pi also. The same thing is working over here also. So both things simultaneously you can see it. Both things is updating. This one is on a cloud. This one is on a Raspberry Pi. So after updating all the libraries and update, your Raspberry Pi will able to access on a cloud all the Raspberry Pi parameters. You will able to access it. Now it will restart it, and after restarting Raspberry Pi, you will able to see that over here all the data, and there you will find one red color of Raspberry Pi over here. This one color will be get red after starting Raspberry Pi again and connecting it. So it will take approximate 1 and 2 minutes, and after that you will able to access it. So yes, Raspberry Pi came over here. Yes, now you can see that color will get red, and you will able to access all the parameter of Raspberry Pi, like CPU speed, CPU usage, RAM usage. These are live real-time data, and storage, that is this one, and the temperature of Raspberry Pi right now it is showing it. It's too much high temperature over there. That is network speed, and you can shut down, you can reboot it. So these are basic configuration over here. If you want to control that GPIO pin also in the Raspberry Pi, that also you can control it over here like this. So you will be able to control that GPIO pin over here in a very simple way using these buttons, and you will be able to control it. So all the GPIO pins you will be able to access it, able to control it over here in a very simple way. So which pin you are going to control it over here, that you can select it and you will be able to access it. Device type pins, these are pins over here, all the 40 pins. So let me refresh it again. In overview you will find all the setup. Yes, these are GPIO. So these are now not now able to get enable and disable. So in a similar way it will get updated. Now it is updating. So you will able to control whichsoever pin you want to control it, that you will able to control it easily, and you will able to operate it. So that can be done. So this one is all about overview of Raspberry Pi, and you can interface that Raspberry Pi with the cloud, and you will able to perform many application over there, and you will able to use it over here. So similar way you can interface that Raspberry Pi over here in Node-RED also. Like if you want to control any pin in the Raspberry Pi, sorry, this one is my node. Sorry, this one is Raspberry Pi Node-RED. This one is connection loss server. So we have to start the Node-RED again over here in the Raspberry Pi because it to get restarted. So I have started server again. So it will get reconnected again. Yes, it's connecting it. So as you are going to reconnect it, reload it, it get connected it again because Node-RED server has started again. So over here I want to control my Raspberry Pi pin, so that is 11 number pin that you can control it over here. So you can see which one is 11 number pin. This one is 17, GPIO 17 is 11 number pin. So I'm going to connect my LEDs over here in this 11 number pin in my hardware, and I'm going to control it from this Node-RED. So let me do it over here. Ground, I'm going to connect with the ground. Let me connect wire. I will show you that how it will get controlled. So I have to send 0 and 1. I will send it from manually, but I'm going to show you in a hardware also. For that I have to disable that screen. So I'm coming back to over here because that camera is not enabling with simultaneously. So now you can see over here, this one is my Raspberry Pi, one LED is connected. So my LED is high right now. So what we can do, we can go back to that screen. I'm going to back in Node-RED, and I'm going to turn it on. I'm going to turn it off. So I'm going to send command off. Now you can see my LED get off. Now I'm going to send 1. LED is on. So whatever command I'm going to send from that cloud, that same output is coming on my device over here. Let me share you again. That 0 and 1 we are sending from that cloud. So that 0 and 1 I'm sending from over here, like pressing this and injected 1 and injected 0. So with the help of that, my output is changing in my hardware and I will able to control it easily. In any appliance you can control it. So if you want to interface any kind of any kind of advanced application, you want to make it using that Raspberry Pi, that also you can use it, and many more functionality also you can do it. Like if we talk about these blocks over here, these are function, all the function you will find over here, like trigger, delay, and these are network, these are input output, these are sequence, these are some format of file, storage, Twitter, GPIO pins. And if you want to add more palette also, that also you can do it over here. Like over here you will add flow also, you can able to add it. So add your flow, rename, whatever you want to do with your flow, that you can do it over here in a very simple way that can be done over here. So now I'm coming to that question answer. If you're having any kind of queries, any kind of doubt, that you can ask it. Before that, I'm going to share with you my contact detail over here. If you face any difficulty or any queries you are having, that you can ask me anytime over here. This one is my contact detail over here. That is innovateskill@gmail.com, and mobile number 8396 000 340. With the name of Ajay, you will find it, and we are available on the Facebook and Twitter, Insta, and everywhere we will find it. And you will find on the YouTube channel with the name of Innovate Skill e-learning. Over there you will find more detailed videos, and few more detailed videos we are going to update on that YouTube channel about Node-RED also. So soon you will find, if you have subscribed that channel, you will find more detail also over there about upcoming latest detail, like latest live session and all that. And now we are going, recently we are going to schedule, we are going to plan one more advanced training program on a IoT. So that also we are going to plan in October. So that also we will update you. So that we are going to update on a Facebook and on via WhatsApp. So this one is my WhatsApp number also over here. So okay, thank you so much. So I'm going to end it over here. Stop sharing. Yes, now you can ask your queries over here. If you're having any kind of queries, any kind of doubt, that you can ask over here. Yes, you can type your queries in the chat box.
One question has already been posted, sir.
Yes, you are making air quality monitoring using Arduino with low cost sensor while you are wearing. Okay, so you can also calibrate that sensor, but low cost sensor you cannot deploy for industrial application. For a prototyping typing, that is good. For calibration, you can write some calibration code. With the help of that, you can do calibration. That is not an issue, that can be done. So low cost sensor can also be worked. Yes, sorry, that RPI cannot connect with the remote XY. Remote XY you can connect Arduino Uno, and you can connect ESP8266 module, or you can connect Arduino plus Wi-Fi module. This device you can connect with a remote XY. But in Node-RED you can connect Raspberry Pi, and as well as Arduino also you can connect it over there. Yes. Yes, if any participant having any kind of queries, they can ask over here. Yes.
Participants, you can post your questions in the chat box.
Yes, that is easy interface with the Arduino and in a Raspberry Pi. You can interface it easily, but there is many functionality in a Raspberry Pi. You can use Python over there in Raspberry Pi. You can use that graphical coding also. You can use many more things over there, many more programming mode also. For that, you have to do some advanced coding over there. Little bit advanced coding you have to do it. All other thing is same. But when we talk about direct interface with the Arduino, that is more easy because Arduino is for dedicated applications, but Raspberry Pi is for multi-purpose applications. So thank you so much to all the participants. Thank you so much. Hope you enjoyed it. Because in this last time duration, we try to share with you maximum so that you can try it later on also. More detailed videos you will able to watch on that our YouTube channel also, and you can watch it in a very slow manner also over there. So thank you so much.
So thank you, sir.
Sir, Ajay Kotra, sir, this is Dr. Sandil Kumar.
Yes, sir.
Sir, thank you. Thank you for your contribution. Last 1.5 days, your contribution is so much. We are very much impressed with your content. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Sir, thank you, sir. This is Durga Lakshmi.
Thank you, madam. Thank you so much.
Sir, on behalf of our college, I would like to express my fullest gratitude to you, sir. You have been for the past 1.5 days and gave valuable information. Thank you so much, sir. Very informative session it was. So the feedback which we have received also more than most of the persons have given excellent comments, sir. So thank you so much for making this session as very informative, sir. Thank you once again, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
துர்கா மேடம் எக்கோ வந்துட்டே இருக்கு உங்க இதுல ஒன்னா ரெண்டு இதுலயும் ஒரே லாகினா பண்ணிருக்கீங்க
இல்லைங்க சார்.
பட் நீங்க அந்த சிஸ்டத்துல பேசாதீங்கன்னு நினைக்கிறேன். ரொம்ப எக்கோ வருது. மாத்திங்க. ஓகே. ஹலோ
சார். சார் இப்போ கேக்குதா? எக்கோ கேக்குதா?
இப்போ நல்லா கேக்குது. இந்த செட்டப்லயே வெச்சுங்க. எக்கோ வந்துட்டே இருக்குது பேசுறப்ப.
ஓகே சார். ஓகே. Thank you sir. Thank you sir.
ஓகே, thank you பா. Thank you. ரெக்கார்டிங் எல்லாம் இது பண்ணி வெச்சிருங்கப்பா.
பண்ணிடுங்க. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
So I would like to thank all the participants. So we'll meet you tomorrow in the next session. So kindly fill the feedback form and that will be taken as your attendance. So thank you so much. So we'll see you in the next session. Kindly join tomorrow by 9:20 AM. So thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am.